The nightmare you are about to watch foretold the madness of my dear childhood friend Luca. To better understand this dream, which I had just completed my 8th grade exams, a premise is necessary. When he was very little, Luca was given a male doll from which he never separated. Even when he played with us, he always took it with him. And, although we often teased him, he replied that it was a gift from his mother, and that therefore he would never part with it. One day, however, after having argued furiously with his mother, full of bitterness and anger, he tore his doll in two, and then threw it to the ground with all his strength. Personally, I was very struck by this gesture of his, until this nightmare revealed its tragic meaning to me. New York, a splendid dawn illuminated by a scorching midsummer sun. Luca and I are on holiday right here to celebrate passing our 8th grade exams. We walk together along the sunny streets of the city. During this long walk, I often feel like I'm chasing myself. At a certain point, we arrive on the banks of a frozen lake. A frozen pond in New York. In summer. Even stranger, on the other side of the ice lake stands out, imposing, a gigantic red building crossed in the center by an immense arch. It seems like a giant door open to the unknown. Once we arrive under that gigantic arched opening, we realize that, right at its base, a luxurious red staircase unfolds that points downwards. We follow it without hesitation for an indefinite time, until, as it narrows, it wedges itself into the subsoil. And, as we go down, its conformation is increasingly strange and difficult to navigate. I have the feeling that it is taking us to an unspecified point beneath the frozen lake. The sensation of cold seems to confirm this. Eventually, we emerge onto a bizarre, brightly colored tunnel. Is it an old abandoned subway? As we proceed along the tunnel, we realize that it is becoming something else as we go, an underground art gallery lined with strange paintings. Waiting for us, in front of us, is a hunchbacked and gaunt old man who can barely hold onto his thin cane. He has white, sparse hair, as is his long, sharp beard. His frail body is wrapped in a long black cloak, and contrasts with the mischievous liveliness of his gaze. "Hello," he says to us like someone who has been waiting for us for a long time. "Greetings." I echo him embarrassed, then add, "Where are we?" "In an art gallery." He replies cryptically, "A very special art gallery," he adds. "Special in what way, old man?" Luca bursts in arrogantly, in the sense that these paintings were all painted in the toilet. "Maybe." The old man replies coldly, sketching a disturbing sarcastic smile. "Maybe." I glare at Luca, hoping that he understands the inappropriateness of his attitude. So I turn to our elderly interlocutor as a mediator. "These paintings are all so beautiful, why are some so strange?" "Because you see," he replies, lowering his voice, "these paintings depict people's future." "That's a good one," says Luca with the same sarcasm as before, "and maybe there are also those who show future lives." "Of course." "Maybe." The old man repeats again. "Maybe. Can we see them?" I ask him, continuing my mediating action. "Of course," he says, suddenly animated by a sinister light in his eyes, "follow me. I'll show you something very interesting." We follow it, and, as we proceed, I realize how complex and large this place is. Secondary tunnels open up to the view at every junction, both on the right and on the left. I increasingly have the sensation of finding myself in a sort of catacomb. A feeling of profound restlessness begins to pervade my body and mind. The paintings then respect a progression that contributes, quite a bit, to making my blood run cold. At first roundish spots that are chromatically clear and harmonious. After that, the paintings present spots that become increasingly quadrangular, broken, and filled with contrasting colors. Finally, we begin to see paintings where exaggerated geometric shapes prevail and dark and desperate colors predominate. "Here you are," the old man finally says, stopping his feeble walk. "Here we are." "Oh yes?" Luca echoes him, chuckling with ever greater emphasis. "Now will you show us a picture made of a real bout of diarrhea?" "Maybe." Maybe, he answers him with a repetitiveness that borders on mechanicalness, while he moves away to show the contents of the canvas behind him. Black spots, red spots. But, wait a moment. It's a face. A cadaverous face. Disfigured by suffering. Luca. I ask him in a trembling voice. Let's go. This place scares me. But afraid of what? He answers me completely unaware of the situation. You're being exaggerated as usual. They're just for squiggles painted by a drunk. I turn towards the old man, and I notice something very sinister in his gaze. A sort of malevolent light makes his eyes shine. In the space of a fraction of a second, the size of his body explodes, transfiguring the very place we are in. Almost like a human bomb, that fragile old man transforms into a gigantic demon with red skin and hypertrophic muscles. The long bull horns, sharp teeth, and eyes burning with anger leave no doubt, it is the devil himself. Gritting his teeth in a grimace of furious evil, he grabs Luca and breaks him in two, then hurls the two sections to the ground. My friend's entrails fall onto me, in red sprays of blood. I can't say anything. I can't scream. I can't even despair. All I feel is atrocious terror. And when I direct my gaze onto the pavement, I don't find the remains of poor Luca, but the remains of that same doll he broke years before. Now it's your turn, you little hypocrite. The devil rattles angrily towards me, with a voice that seems to come from the bowels of the earth. I wake up with a start. A few years later, Luca was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I would like to point out that the word schizophrenia derives from the Greek schz, which means I divide, and phrn, which means mind, in a word, splitting of the mind. Furthermore, the term devil derives from the Greek term diabolos, which means he who divides. And, in the nightmare you have just seen, the devil, that is, the one who divides, breaks Luca's body in two. And what is a person's body within a dream, if not the mental representation of him? It is also clear why Luca, as a child, cared so much about his doll. Evidently, in him, he identified a part of himself, the same one that the illness helped to break. But then, one wonders, what is the true nature of mental illness? Is it medical in nature? Or religious? And the dream? Is it just a property of our nervous system? Or is there something else? Oh, I forgot. For a schizophrenic, everything is either black or white, or true or false. For him, that is, there is no perhaps. There is no maybe.